The magic pebble and the trip to Isabel was standing in a really tall and dry mountain. It had dry and living plants. The mountain was so tall that you could see everything, like buildings and houses from up there. You could also see some small mountains under you. In fact, it was scary because she was standing in a really tall mountain. Actually, in one of the tallest mountains there, and it did not have railings for her to be able to hold on and to avoid falling down. It was hard to not look down because there was nothing that could let you avoid looking down. And even if there were something that would avoid her looking down, she would, out of her curiosity. Isabel was scared of heights. She was afraid that she would fall off the mountain or something like that. Isabel loved shiny stuff. If she saw something like that, she would pick it up and keep it for her own. Isabel picked up a shiny pebble and found it on the ground. She loved it. The pebble was layered with many different colors from the color wheel: blue, green, yellow, orange, red, pink, and purple. The colors had a touch of lightness that made the pebble be more light instead of dark colors. The lightness also worked to show the colors and avoid losing the pebble. The pebble was a type of see-through and looked like a type of liquid inside. The pebble was the most detailed and specific and most colorful and amazing pebble Isabel had ever seen. The pebble was as round as a ball and as soft as a newborn baby's tummy. Isabel picked up her notebook to write about the pebble. She had a picture of the Eiffel Tower in Paris, which reminded her of the Eiffel Tower in Paris, which she loved. She collected everything that had something to do with Paris or the Eiffel Tower. She collected things so when she grew up, she would go to Paris. Oh, I wish I was in the Eiffel Tower in Paris. She saw the pebble start to shine and she saw a lot of light around her. Almost looked like if Isabel was inside a tornado that had dark color purple tornado that had pictures of cities flying around. Isabel got excited. She knew what was happening. She was really excited about what was happening. She had a smile in her face and she was grabbing the pebble really tight. She had holding her shoulders up and had her hands as fists. Isabel closed her eyes when she saw a huge blob of light that was coming from the end of the huge dark purple tornado. She got the spots. The spots are what Isabel calls when you get hit in the eye by really bright light, and she starts to see different colored dots everywhere and look like she starts to see everything a bit darker. Isabel appeared in the Eiffel Tower in Paris. She was really excited to be in the Eiffel Tower in Paris. She knew that she would not look down because if not, she would get really scared and would want to leave. Hey, how will I get out of here anyway? Isabel got so curious she looked down and screamed. She was really scared because of the long way down, and probably an accident could happen, like someone falls down. Isabel accidentally let go of the pebble. The pebble was falling down. Isabel's only hope was to throw herself after the magic rainbow pebble. Isabel stood on top of the rail of the fence and looked down closer. Her closed her eyes, and bloop! She felt just like the pebble had fallen. Isabel felt the pressure of air coming towards her. Ah! A few centimeters away from her, she saw the colored pebble. She was a few inches away from the ground. She grabbed the pebble and she got worried and I wish I could go back with my family in the mountain. Isabel appeared in the dark purple tornado, but this time it had pictures of different it didn't have the pictures of the different cities. This time there were pictures of different mountains flying around. When Isabel appeared back, she immediately grabbed her notebook and she pulled out her Eiffel Tower picture and moved it to a brand new page in her notebook, where she had wrote everything that happened to her. She looked at the picture once more and closed her notebook and giggled. She learned a really valuable lesson. That same day, when she was writing about her adventure she had with the magic pebble, she kept and loved it because it reminded her of the lesson she learned in the amazing adventure. Don't try to get out of one problem because it might get worse. Think before you act. From there on, Isabel did not try to get out of something and get involved.